I made tea for this video because I thought it would be a good tea video, as are all of my videos. But then I realized that my battery wasn't charged, so I think my tea might be cold by now. Yeah, it's like room temperature. Hello my friends, and Happy New Year! It is probably New Year's Eve or just struck midnight when you guys are seeing this video. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, the New Year always brings a lot of mixed feelings. Part of me is like, yay! A whole new year to do whatever we want! A fresh, clean slate! Let's go! Let's go! At the same time, the end of the year often makes me reflect on where I am in my life, and I think it's really easy to get caught up in like circumstances and get discouraged at the end of a year. Maybe I didn't accomplish everything I set out to do, maybe there are some things that were difficult this year or that I wish I had improved in or that I wish I had done that I didn't do. When you have big dreams, I think it can often be really discouraging, but I really wanted to try with the new year to stick with the mindset of being excited for the future and looking forward and seeing all the possibilities, because that kind of mindset is quite a bit more productive. I'm gonna zoom in a little, I think. There we go. Maybe not quite so much. So I thought that I would talk about some moments, some memories, some experiences that I had this year that I'm really, really thankful for. Because I have found that thankfulness is the ultimate perspective switch. Switcher? Switcher? The first thing that I thought of was that this year I saw some really mind-blowingly beautiful nature places. Right at the start of the year, I went to Jackson Hole and I saw the most magical snow that I've ever seen in my life. It felt like the kind of place that stepped right out of a fantasy novel, and the whole time I was there I was really aware of how magical this world is and how many places there are that I've never heard of or never been to or never experienced that are just breathtakingly beautiful. I also went to a national park that I'd never been to before. I went to the Shenandoah National Park and I got to see mountains, which I don't live in a place where there are mountains. I'm always amazed by mountains. I just think they're so cool. I got to see mountains and trees and butterflies and flowers. And those experiences in nature really reminded me how much I love adventure. The kind of adventures that kind of make you feel like anything is possible, like the world is full of abounding beauty. Being out in those beautiful settings, those beautiful natural settings, fills me with inspiration and understanding and often helps me process things if I'm having a hard time working through something. One of my favorite things that I did this year was that I did a lot of traveling by myself. Whether it was just a couple hours to New York City or all the way across the country to California, almost every single month I did something that terrified me and was new and was exciting. A particularly memorable trip was when I went to Vidcon last June. That was the farthest that I have ever traveled from home on my own. Yes, I did meet up with friends there, but for the most part I was staying by myself. And it surprised me how strong I felt. I felt incredibly strong during that week. I had so much fun. I was even experiencing some pretty challenging things in my personal life and in my relationships, and even still, I felt really strong and independent. I got to meet one of my very best friends in the whole wide world in person for the first time that week, and I got to explore a whole new city with her. Even now, looking back on it, remembering that week that I was in California, it just reminds me how strong I am and that I can do things that I never thought I could do before. I feel stronger in myself when I look back at those memories of me traveling alone. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I think part of the reason why I love it is because it's so challenging, but it makes me feel capable, and feeling capable is a really great feeling to me. In fact, that trip, for me, I kind of mark as the beginning of some really big changes in me. It started a period of growth over the next couple months that I think sums up this whole year and how this year felt. This year, I experienced something new that I am not quite sure how to explain. It is something like growing up, or growing out. If you've ever experienced it, I think you will know what I mean. It's that feeling when you can feel yourself inching towards and skipping towards who you want to be. I found myself in those months and throughout the rest of the year thoughtlessly going into these situations that used to give me anxiety or stress me out, and I found myself having fun, like so much fun. Being carefree and adventurous and really happy. Almost this wild kind of happiness that I had never really experienced before because I'm a type 1 Enneagram. I I changed so much all at once that I remember this specific conversation that I had with my mom, where I was telling her that when I looked back at just a couple months ago, I felt like a completely different person, in the sense that the way I reacted to certain situations, I don't react that way anymore. Sometimes those little moments, like that conversation with my mom, kind of symbolize or characterize a much bigger experience, and I'm really, really thankful for those little experiences that help me see the bigger picture. The next experience or memory that I am really, really thankful for this year was the week that I saw BTS in concert. Yes, it was just plain old fun. Like, I got to see BTS in concert. Like, after almost 2 years or more of dreaming about it, I got to see probably my favorite music artists in concert. So how could that not be super fun? However, there was something more to that week. I'm not sure exactly what it was about that week, but it was just really magical. One of those kind of unexpected magical experiences that reminds you that people are worth treasuring and that friends can be the best encouragers and the best company and make all the difference in your life. I got to stay with my friend Monica that week, and I hung out with her and Elena a bunch. I met up with a bunch of other friends in the city, and I think that week was just one of the most fun of this year. It just reminds me of like warmth and friendship. I also think that one of the reasons that that week felt like that is because the concert itself felt like that. I talked about this in my vlog, but something about that concert, BTS fans and the way that they relate to BTS and each other, it's just very kind. Like, I felt the love and the warmth around me. Part of that was probably that it was the Love Yourself concert, so like the whole time they're singing about loving yourself. That kind of positive energy is like bound to have an effect on the experience as a whole, but I just found that people were really nice and that I was there with my friends who were really nice, and that I felt, I don't know, just one of those like magical experiences. This year I was also in New York City, I think more than I have ever been in 1 year. The practical reason for that is because I've been planning to move there. It has not happened how I thought it would, but I'm really, really thankful for all the memories that I made in New York this year. Some of them literally left me in tears, like not happy tears. And even those memories I look back on and I feel so sure that that is where I want to be, that I want to be in New York City, that I love, love, love being there. Recently, one of my friends joked to me that New York Emma is like a different creature than normal Emma, much like caffeine Emma. And it's exactly how I feel when I'm there. Something about the city just makes me excited for the future, makes me feel like bigger things are possible, like I can do bigger things. I just love that freedom. It makes me excited for the future. So here's to my future in New York City, 2019. Lastly, I wrote a poetry book this year. It's not done in the sense that you guys will see it published anytime soon, but I'm really, really proud of it. I spent countless midnights writing and editing and thinking about what I wanted to communicate and how I wanted to communicate it, and the story of me and my life that I was trying to tell, especially the past 6 months. The whole poetry book is basically about what I was talking about earlier, of kind of growing and seeing yourself change and seeing yourself experience the world in that kind of way that feels like magic is real. Seeing myself grow out of things and seeing myself grow more and more into who I want to be. I had the experience of rereading poems that I had written and not read for a while and crying because it so perfectly communicated what I was trying to get at. I'm not sure if I can really express what that's like, but it's kind of like seeing a quiet personal dream suddenly right in front of me and not really being sure how I got there. And I can't wait for it all to be in front of you. As much as I am so thankful for these kind of big things that I am seeing when I look back at the year, I'm also really thankful for the little moments. Those small moments that fill every year. Bright flowers and new haircuts and cups of coffee and smiles from strangers. A wonderful night's sleep and seeing the sunrise. A cute boy giving me a piece of gum. Staying up past midnight for pretty much no real reason at all. Sunny days and rainy days and reading days. And laughter. I'm so thankful for laughter. I've laughed so much with all the people that I love this year. So I know that the end of 1 year and the start of another can be pretty overwhelming, especially for us HSPs, but I wanted to take a day and look back at all the things that happened this year, the things to be grateful for. I found that in doing that, in looking back with thankfulness in mind, it made me so much more excited for the new year and everything that it will bring. I I think it is true for me that every year I am happier and happier because every year I'm more me and growing up and becoming the person that I love. And if that is true, then 2019 I can be sure that I will be happier in that year as well. Even if there are sucky days, because there will be. They will suck. Some of them. I'm so excited to move forward into this year. I have some big old dreams for 2019 and I hope that you guys will join me in them. Thank you for another wonderful year. I love you all so much and I will see you in my next video.